One day, Sarah Worthington's young daughter approaches. Their horse removes her gloves and gently touches the animal. Instantly, the horse collapses and dies. Sarah is devastated, but not surprised. Her daughter kills anything she touches, which is why the child is forced to wear gloves at all times. Desperate for help, Sarah travels into town with her daughter to seek assistance from the acting sheriff. Everyone already knows about the girl's curse. Sarah explains that she wants to take her child to Ross Corner, where a famous preacher may be able to cure her. But the deputy cruelly refuses, saying no one would escort a freed slave and her child. And even if they would, Sarah doesn't have enough silver to pay them. Nearby, the town doctor. Dr. Steelbender overhears the conversation. He's visibly drunk and uninterested, dismissed by the town after failing to save lives during the outbreak. With no other options, Sarah decides they'll travel alone. She buys supplies from Mr. Grayson's shop and asks him to send a telegram ahead to Ross Corner, warning the preacher of their arrival. Meanwhile, Miss Atwater, a wealthy and influential woman in town, confronts Sarah. She reminds her of their agreement. The child is never to be brought into town. Miss Atwater threatens that if it happens again, both mother and daughter will be executed. The sickness has destroyed public faith in Dr. Steelbender. Unable to cope, he relies on a sedative mixture to sleep, which causes disturbing hallucinations. Visions of his dead daughter Annie speaking to him. Sarah lives on a remote farm with her daughter and a simple-minded man named Edward Yatch, who was once protected by Sarah's late husband, Mr. Worthington. Before dying, Worthington freed Sarah and left her the land. One night, Miss Atwater pressures the town council to drive Dr. Steelbender out for failing to pay his debts. With no other income, the doctor reluctantly accepts Sarah's offer to escort her and her daughter to Ross Corner. At dawn, Edward mistakenly attacks the doctor, believing him to be an intruder. Sarah intervenes just in time. Before leaving, she hands Edward legal papers, granting him ownership of the farm, unsure if she'll ever return. During the journey, Dr. Steelbender insists the girl is not evil, but merely ill. He also claims not to believe in God. Tension rises when it's revealed that Sarah's husband once had an affair with the doctor's wife. The scandal led to Joseph's execution, and the doctor's wife taking trauma that still haunts them both. That night, bandits Miss White and Gibson ambush the group. They steal their supplies and threaten to take the girl as leverage, promising to abandon her later at a ravine. Before they can leave, Edward attacks Gibson. In the chaos, Gibson accidentally shoots Miss White, who escapes with the supplies. Gibson attempts to kill Sarah, but she shoots him dead. With no food or water, the group presses on now, with Edward following them. Dr. Steelbender later discovers a brutally mutilated body, clearly arranged as a warning. When examining the girl, the doctor finds no sign of illness. Edward collapses from exhaustion, but they soon encounter another group of travelers led by Maggie, along with her niece Emma. And son Stanton. Maggie shares food and tells a grim story of their wagon train being slaughtered first by native attackers, then by white men. Stanton survived only because he was already sick. The doctor notices signs of cannibalism and realizes Maggie's group consumed a baby. When Maggie removes the girl's gloves to test her power, she instantly dies, vomiting blood. A native warrior appears and kills Stanton, leaving Emma alone. The native introduces himself as Chief William, joining the group. He explains his tragic past, the destruction of his tribe, and their belief in an evil god's twin that still walks the earth. Later, Sarah reveals the truth of her daughter's conception after her husband's execution. The sheriff assaulted her. Edward later killed the sheriff to save her. The child was born from that violence, and her curse followed. The next morning, Edward is found dead, his heart ripped from his chest. The girl and Chief William are gone. They track them to a burned settlement, where Sarah finds her daughter standing unharmed among the ashes. Believing the child is pure evil, Sarah attempts to drown her, but Dr. Steelbender intervenes. A gunshot wounds Sarah, and her body is swept away by the river. The doctor brings the girl to Ross Corner, where the people demand she be expelled. Preacher Ross, a man in a wheelchair, declares the girl contains all the world's evil, and announces an exorcism. That night, Dr. Steelbender is betrayed. The preacher reveals he orchestrated everything, sending the bandits to stop the girl from arriving. He orders the doctor killed. Miraculously, the doctor survives and escapes, fueled by a vision of his daughter urging him to fight. With Sarah, who survived, helping from the shadows, the doctor storms the preacher's house, killing his followers. He confronts Ross, who suddenly walks, revealing his deception. The doctor kills him and saves the girl. Years later, the girl, now grown, writes of her past. She still wears gloves, as her touch remains deadly. And thus, the story ends. The dark origin of a woman born, cursed by violence and fear.